You know, recently I was scrolling my Instagram feed and saw the news that robots are fans at the stadium at an NFL game. And it didn't surprise me, but more alarming. How quickly we are transported to the movie I'm a Robot. And this is
my ideal, Lil Michelle. Who is she? A blogger with 3 million Instagram followers who Time called one of the most influential influencers on the internet. She makes music videos, promotes Samsung, and kisses Bella Hadid in a Calvin Klein ad.
She isn't a real person, just a character made by a Los Angeles studio. Strangely, because her followers don't seem to mind at all.
You read the comments, it becomes clear that Mikali trusts the same as other bloggers in the Instagram feed she called to vote in the elections to fight for the environment. And she is against racism in general, behaves like a real person with her own opinion.
We live in a world where a virtual person has an opinion, but do you know that opinion nowadays, even dead people have opinions now?
For example, this guy who died from a prankster has a hologram created by his parents calls for a reduction in the arms trade. Can we consider this the guy's opinion? Who started the Black Lives Matter protests? Would he be able to testify in court against his killer? Dead musician would Tupac want to perform on the swing, if not for those 4 bullets.
I think the future has already arrived, we just haven't noticed it. More money on the virtual scenes than on material scenes.
In the prize pool, you can buy a knife for $13,000, or a sticker from a tournament in Katowice, Poland for $85,000. It's a fuck-up and other things that also hit the hype.
Maybe this knife does special damage to the enemy, or makes the player immortal. No, it's just a beautiful knife that doesn't exist physically. It's a new reality, but brands have seen it as a huge business.
Gucci released digital dresses for a very real $10,000 and sneakers for only $12. An affordable price tag, clothes can be worn on Instagram or worn on the tennis court. Why pollute the planet if beautiful photos can be taken in a completely environmentally friendly way? This is Miko the cat, wearing a motion capture suit. It allows her to stream in 2 worlds at once, real and virtual. In one she shares her thoughts. In the other, she lets the audience change her appearance and dances for donations. And she is loved. And it's not just about sexuality or the chat she displays. It's about the emotions she gives. The whole virtual reality suit is not just digital. It also simulates the body. Imitates, touches somewhere, presses, squeezes something, and now it seems to you that you are hugging a living person. Now in porn, you are not just spying on someone else's sex. You participate in it. Feel the warmth of the actress. Hear her breath in your ear. And it does not matter that she is a character from hentai or game. That is, you did not help Jennifer and Tress in The Witcher for nothing. They will have something to thank you for.
So we are surrounded by copies of people, we have cyber sex, we dress in virtual clothes, and it sounds like we uploaded to the Matrix. At least remotely, it is exactly like the Matrix. And in this episode, it is indispensable, or rather it's real auto.
The Wachowski brothers did not come up with their idea from scratch, and were inspired by the philosopher Jean Baudrillard, whose book Simulacra and Simulation falls into the hands of Neo. And after the Matrix, everyone started talking about how we may already be living in a simulation.
That and the brothers, and now the sisters of Kiselov, misunderstood him Bardariak said that it is in the digital world. That is unreal, but our offline life, as they say.
You do not understand this other.
We don't need artificial intelligence, and we are glasses to immerse ourselves in the world of simulation. We have been living in it for 50 years. What you are about to hear may change the way you see the world. I will prove to you that we live in a world of simulation, and we have more and more questions about reality.
Now you will learn how signs hide meanings from us, and why there was not a gram of pumpkin in a pumpkin latte, what one-page all Wikipedia links lead to, how we are stuck in different ends of the bubble, how fake news turns into truth, why it has become easier to find the original in the virtual world than in reality, and how the metaverse will change everything.
So let's understand why our material world is the main of simulation. Maybe have you heard of the MacGuffin?
Remember the suitcase from Pulp Fiction? The Holy Grail from Indiana Jones? R2-D2 from Part 4 Star Wars? The rabbit's foot object from Mission Impossible 3, or even Leela from The Fifth Element? Everyone is after them. And what is their trick? The audience does not care anymore. It is important to get them.
What is a MacGuffin? He said, well, it's an apparatus for trapping lions in the Scottish Highlands. Man said, but there are no lions in the Scottish Highlands. He said, then that's no MacGuffin.
Just such specifiers what our reality consists of, and as the Baudrillard said, hyperreality, VR glasses and cyber implants have nothing to do with it. It's about meaning. I will expand using the example of men's and women's toilet.
The simplest is such a silhouette of a man and a woman in semiotics. That is, in the science of signs, it is an icon. That is, even a child will understand the meaning. Let's go further. Here is a more veiled sign: men's and women's shoes. This is already an index. That is, something that indirectly indicates the meaning of a man or a woman. A child can still guess. There is also such a sign: the icons of Mars and Venus. This is already a symbol. That is, something that has nothing to do with the meaning. People just agreed what it means. Like symbols of radiation or recycling or even a hippie icon.
If you don't know the terms of this agreement, it's not very clear. We understand these signs because we are used to them.
But a bushman will not understand these signs. He can understand, for example, an arrow because he shoots a bow.
And he knows where the arrow is going.
Icon, index, symbol. All these signs point to the same meaning. The toilet, radiation symbols indicate ionizing radiation. The recycling sign indicates the possibility of making a new plastic bottle from a plastic bottle. And the hippie icon, well, you know.
And now, imagine the sign that indicates nothing. It has no meaning at all, nothing behind it. It's not worth it. It's like a wrapper without candy, and the Patriarch said that our real reality consists of such specifiers, and is called simulacra. Here's an example.
This is a pumpkin, a real juicy one with seeds inside. And this is a pumpkin pie. It doesn't look much like a pumpkin, but is made of pumpkin, flour, and sugar. This sign masks reality, but still refers to it. The gap from reality increases, and now a simulacrum of a traditional pumpkin latte from Starbucks comes on the scene, which is associated with the pumpkin season and autumn comfort. But there is a problem.
Pumpkin spice latte was invented by marketers in 2003 while eating pumpkin pie with espressos, so the drink is unconventional. It's not even seasonal because pumpkin is available all year round. And at first it wasn't even pumpkin.
Initially, it did not contain a single gram of pumpkin. It was everything but pumpkin. In the end, in 2015, Starbucks still had to add real pumpkin puree to the pumpkin syrup.
And this is not the only example.
In a Subway sandwich with tuna, no tuna was found at all, and the bread in it was recognized as fake bread.
We had to use two bright substitutes because the taste is different. Here's another example.
Retrowave is also a simulacrum. It seems to send us back to the 80s, but at that time few people listened to electronics, and music videos were not colored with neon. It was the time of rock and disco. Neon, synthesizer, electronics make us feel nostalgic. For a time we did not live in, and moreover, which did not exist at all.
You may think a real simulacrum is just a deception, but Baudrillard said so.
A simulacrum never hides the truth. It is the truth that hides that it does not exist.
People drinking pumpkin spice lattes really cleanses the atmosphere in the fall. When we watch very strange cases or listen to retro waves and reality get nostalgic, we aren't deceived and we got what we wanted. We don't need the original. And this is the difference between virtual reality and hyper-reality.
Looking at Lil Michaela, we know she's not real, and that's her thing. But drinking a pumpkin latte or getting nostalgic with retro waves, we're sure we're dealing with something real.
This is hyper-reality. It has lost touch with meaning. The prefix hyper here means that it is similar to hypertext. Text with links that constantly refer to something.
Like hypertext in Wikipedia, if you travel through the first links of the wiki, you will somehow reach the page philosophy. Here are the paths to it from Harry Potter, coffee, the wiki page itself, jellyfish, Moscow, and William Putin and Obama.
But if in Wikipedia the first source is philosophy, then in hyperreality the first source is often impossible to find.
You will recognize this track from 3 notes. Of course, it smells like Teen Spirit. What kind of teen spirit is like a rebellious teen spirit? The spirit of youth. So Kurt wrote a song about rebellion.
But not really. Kurt wanted to write a Pixie song, and he looked at the face on the wall at home. And his ex wrote, "Kurt smells like teen spirit." And it inspired him, even though the girl herself didn't mean it as a rebellious spirit.
But the popular deodorant at the time, Teen Spirit, so smells like teen spirit refers to the pics and the inscription on the fence referring to the deodorant.
It's like we're wandering through the hyperlinks of Wikipedia, going from one page to the next. But we'll never know which page was first, because pixies and the name deodorant also refer to something.
It turns out that the simulacrum is a hyperlink that leads to a 404 error at the end. That is, the original page does not exist.
But how we did end up in this new world? Where does simulacra come from? Which turns our life into hyper-reality? Well, first of all, from advertisements. And advertisements shows that any problem can be solved with the help of some specific scene.
Yogurt promises to save us from digestive problems that we may not have at all. Clothes will make us slimmer, stronger, cooler, and takeaway coffee and a MacBook will definitely make us designers. What kind of designer is a designer without coffee and a MacBook, right?
We are convinced that the scenes of any person compliment his image, take care of him, and we certainly begin to want them.
For example, we are not just hungry, but want that burger. Not just to quench our thirst, but to drink exactly the New Year's cola that will bring a fat Santa, whose very image made cola popular. Not just to update your smartphone, but to hold in your hands exactly the iPhone 15. The problem is that
since always lacking, we are constantly striving for an ever-disappearing ideal. A goat who is always running after a carrot, but cannot understand this carrot is attached to a donkey and constantly running away from him. And now, we'll have our own carrot.
So football broadcasts have different advertising depending on the country. Ukraine does not see football players in the background Coca-Cola. Americans, car rental service, British, sports betting, and Europeans on the background of Nike.
Then this happened not only with advertisements, but with all the news in the world. Journalists from all countries and even within the country cover the same event in a completely different ways.
Some say that during the protests, police officers talk to young people and hand out tea and cookies, while others say that police beat passers-by.
You have probably noticed that you have one reality and your parents have a completely different one, although everyone can see that they know the truth. Hence a lot of swearing, a lot of misunderstanding, and as if we really live in different universes, but that's not what I mean. The media is the second main source of simulacra. Original events is no longer so important. Emotions are not caused by facts, but by their interpretation.
There is an opinion that the Gulf War was not a real war. The US Army could wipe Iraq off the face of the earth, but almost never clashed with them. It was a simulation of a great war live broadcast by the media as reality.
Such wars with the external enemy distract from problems. Viewers don't know the real situation. They immerse is one or another info bubble, depending on which media they watch. And now let's move on the news that has long been in the news.
This is a concert of Travis Scott inside the game Fortnite, which is simultaneously watched by 12 million people. Just look at the planet-sized speaker and the kilometer-long Travis. Fire rain is pouring from the sky. Day is replaced by neon night. The development was lifted into the air. A cart was submerged, even launched into the stratosphere, and it all ended with a spectacular explosion and no pressure, unlike a real concert where 10 people were crushed to death and 300 were injured.
But it's just a children's toy? Yes, you can communicate, meet, work and study there. Your wishes can do it. That's what I think. Fortnite is not just a game, but a metaverse.
This term appeared in 1992 in the science fiction novel Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. A metaverse is a virtual space where users do not watch content but are inside it, where a simple pizza delivery man becomes a hacker and a samurai. And the same novel made the word avatar popular long before the movie Avatar by James Cameron.
Now let's combine the metaverse, NFT and cryptocurrency, and get
Decentraland, a virtual world like Minecraft only divided into 16 by 16 meters, each of which is a separate NFT, and each can be bought to do whatever you want, like in life, building a casino, setting up an NFT exhibition. The main thing is to attract more people to earn more. And in Decentraland there are even billboards with advertising. Only unlike those on the street, they are clickable. That is, you can rent advertising space, or you can order, for example, a pizza at Domino's, and it will be brought to your home for real. It looks wild.
I agree. Today Polygon just gouged my ass out, but remember how the internet started.
The era of Web 1.0 lasted until 2004, when the internet was all about Wikipedia, no shopping, no social networks, abnormal video content. From 2004 to the present day, the era of Web 2.0, social networks and smartphones collect our data and sell advertising, but at the same time make each of us content creators. And the coming era of Web 3.0 is the decentralization of everything. Finance with cryptocurrencies, copyright with NFT, and transactions with smart contracts.
Only have to add that if you are dying in the Metaverse, you die in real life, like in the Matrix. And
The printing press, radio, television, computer are not just machines through these media. Media, we see reality not as it really is, but as Lenin encoded it. As he said, communism is Soviet power plus the electrification of the whole country. Think for a second about this proposal.
to raise the industry, but to have a radio in every house that broadcasts idea, and before the radio, newspapers and books broadcast them. And now we have the internet and blockchain, and they already changed the society. It is important to understand that.
Technologies can put simulacra into the virtual space, turning it into a hyper-reality screaming with advertising and fakes. Or they can give absolutely everyone access to good education and remote work.
The further technology moves away from the real, physical world, the harder it is to explain, and the harder it is for you to recognize what is real and what is not. But the future will come whether you like it or not.